Yo, welcome into the cabinet. Today, we're trying to boil down the purpose behind the existence of INTPs. Why do INTPs exist? What role we are best suitable to play as an INTP? Not to mention, I'm an INTP. That's one of the reasons I have picked this as my first video for this channel, I guess. Without further delay, let's just get into it. In the INTP's cognitive function stack, TI is the dominant function and FE is the inferior function. So it's not unusual that we operate with TI. And the nature of TI is it's introverted, it's detached, it works alone, functions inside our head quietly. It does not involve FE. In fact, TI is actually the exact opposite of FE. Like we'd be deciding something on our own or make a conclusion. Let's say we decide something that we are gonna do in front of people. When it's on our head, it's all fine. It seems fine. It seems to make sense. But the moment we take it to in front of people, something goes wrong. Either it would feel so unpleasant or we wouldn't be able to do it like we are supposed to do, like we were originally intended to do. Or if we do, though, if we do the way we are supposed to do it, we will regret something about it later. We will feel stuffs that we aren't supposed to feel and question why we are feeling that. Maybe we could be a weak to it at first, then eventually this sense will come that we shouldn't have feel that. We shouldn't have feel that, and we would question ourselves why we felt that. If you are an INTP listening to this, I do not know how older are you, but odds are pretty high you had or you would went through some core bad trauma. Do we say trauma? Let's say just bad experiences. To be accurate here, regarding FE at the early phase of our life. I mean, from cognitive functions point of view, it isn't surprising. It seems to be the obvious. But the part of the reason we are more certainly likely to experience trauma or bad experiences regarding our inferior function, the credit goes to the state of the world. To be fair, in the current state of the world, TI and NI, the functions we generally tend to use most, would be disliked in most places. The reason is very simple. The world is running with our opposite function. Geographically, most of the Western countries is running with TE and NI, which is our opposing functions, basically. Basically, the reason why we feel a lot of stress, lot of friction going through our life with our dominant function, with our natural self of who we are. If we focus on the eastern or midwest countries, though, they run with FE and also SI. Just to be clear, I'm not talking about all the countries of all the places. I'm just talking about in general. And In general, Western countries operate with TENI, and it's valued there more than the any other functions. I mean, the nature of the function. On the other hand, most of the Eastern countries value FE and SI. It's like traditionalist in a sense, and also there's this emphasis on communities, grouping, getting together, social events, culture. But whoever does not naturally go along with that would seem an awkward. Also the fiction, also the fiction regarding that we can face and we would face because we operate with TI. That's our dominant function. It would seem as so awkward, weird, aloof, whatever those words mean, at least in the minds of those people. That's my reasoning behind my thought that we are more likely to went through some traumatic experience than the other types. I guess I have got another reason I didn't do it at the end. Now then, if we talk about the purpose of INTPs from, I'm not talking about any God given fixed purpose here that has truth value, just to be clear. I'm talking about the Jungian cognitive functions theory. If I take the theory for granted, it's almost like a definition we can see here. The purpose of INTPs is basically to create a better tomorrow. We have got TI at the top of our stack. What does TI do? TI seeks truth based on the information and experiences available to it. Experience makes us kind of best. Yes, I think TI paired with any is the best tool we have got when it comes to figuring out so called truth, if there is any. That was one of the two things we INTPs do best. And the other thing a lot of us do is we create or build stuff. With INTPs, whatever they do, there's a sense of improving something or doing something that no one else is doing. Those are two of the categories. Most INTPs are supposed to fall into one of those two categories. Yes, there might be some INTPs who might not see many of those way. I would say they haven't found their purpose or they are underdeveloped basically. But purely from cognitive functions point of view, this is what we are supposed to do. We are supposed to create a better tomorrow. Could be for us, it could be for people, or it could be for the planet itself. This is INTP's purpose. This is why we exist. Not to mention, as an INTP, you will come across a lot, I mean, a lot of fiction while pursuing your purpose. You know the reason behind it? The reason behind it is the world, starting from 21st century, is operating with TE and NI overall. T users are usually the most reputed people. TE as a function is valued in most countries. NI within the system, within the most system, is most effective, I guess. Yeah, effective would be the correct word. And as I said, even in the lower middle class realm of the world, What holds them? What holds those people? They are holden by their values, FE, their social constructs, FE, and their traditions is I. As an INTP, no matter you are inside the higher class space or the middle or lower class space, your nature of operating is against the way most of the people operates or most people expect you to operate. So it won't feel comfortable for sure. It would never feel comfortable. But is there a better way? Is there a better way than offending people and maybe getting disliked by most of them while we are pursuing what we are supposed to pursue? Yeah, there are options. There are always an option, but there aren't any better options. The other option is looping like a chimpanzee, basically. You'd come as aloof, which might not be that bad, considering you would be uncomfortable. But you would suffer. You suffer if you don't fight. And you would test and continue testing an existence that would never feel worthwhile. And don't forget your opposing forces are more in numbers. More than that, the system favors them. The system is in favor of them. You wouldn't be starting from zero. You are starting from a minus digit. If you don't fight, you suffer. You are in a losing position already. And in order to win as an INTP, you must fight. That's the only way out. For today, we are keeping it to that. If you have found this video helpful though, like and subscribe if you haven't. Take care.